Hello survivors and welcome to another Walking Dead Road to Survival video, and in this video we're going to be taking a first look at S Class Dwight, and he is going to be the next promo character coming to RTS. We all know what Dwight looks like. He had a lot of 5 stars, 6 stars. This is his first S Class, of course. He is on the right hand side, visuals just as we know him. He's got the, is it the iron burn on his face? He's got the tattoos and everything. We've seen him in the storyline throughout the RTS gameplay. He's been in the TV show, comics. We all know who Dwight is. He looks visually kind of cool. He's just kind of how we expect Dwight to look. He's got the sort of denim sort of waistcoat on, or whatever you want to say, and then it's just sort of cut off at the arms. Just looking like Dwight. We know what Dwight looks like. On the left hand side we see the visuals, the avatar as well. Looks pretty gruesome, as we know. As an S-Class character with 30 veteran rings, he has got 5,245 attack, 3,641 defense, and 3,583 HP. He is considered a support character, and that is actually quite high attack stat for a support character. If you consider someone like Arav is a damage dealer and actually has less damage by like 600-700. He is a fast character, of course, as we can see on the right hand side. And when I first saw this, I was like, damn, it's another missed opportunity for a character that would have been able to hold a crossbow or a bow that would have made sense in the storyline. But no big deal, we'll take a look at his rush. It is called Disarming Stabs. It is a 66 AP rush, so quite quick. Deal 1,500% damage to an enemy. All other enemies get disarm and minus 50% defense for 2 turns. So there's not much going on here. It is pretty straight to the point. One enemy is getting absolutely destroyed, and then every other enemy becomes more susceptible to damage, and it becomes an open window there. You know, infection on defense on Trader will no longer work if he gets disarmed. Stun on defense will no longer work. All of those good things. So that's great, and obviously the defense down means any follow-up damage is going to be massively boosted, be it single target or multi-hit. Okay, so we're on turn 2 and we're going to do a rush. We're going to clear the Guardian Shield of Akira because obviously he's a very frustrating character. We have got trait damage because fast against tough. 1,500% damage is going to do a lot of damage. We do see that the trader obviously resists the defense down and the disarm. If you are running trauma in any way, obviously you can hit him with a trauma weapon or do a trauma active and potentially make it proc 2 times. If he's not going to get defense down, he's going to take damage basically. Then any follow-up damage on any of these other characters is going to be enhanced. No matter how much I do, it would be more than what I would have done before. It's as simple as that. So if you have a nice heavy damage dealer to come in afterwards, let's say Arav, who, like I said before, does have quite low attack stat considering he is a damage dealing character, he will massively benefit from defense down. So I actually like this adrenaline rush quite a lot. It is pretty simple, straightforward. It does exactly what it says. There's not much to it, but it is very, very effective. You all know how defense down works. If you've got Alpha, you'll know exactly how. 1,500% damage to one character is obviously massive. You're generally going to take out a character that way, and there are some tough characters starting to appear. We did get Tara from War of Champions, and we've got Akira as well, so there are a couple of tough characters coming in, being a little bit mischievous, and obviously having that low amount of AP on his rush means you can potentially get him to rush turn 1 with the correct weapons and support characters. Next, we'll go across the active to see what this has, and it has a lot going on. Focus, attack up, crit up, AP gain. It has an initial cooldown of 2, cooldown of 3, and number of uses 5. This is kind of a standard for attack teams, 2, 3, 5s. This character and 2 teammates get focus, 50% attack, and crit for 2 turns. This character gets 50% AP, so it's pretty straightforward again. This character is definitely going to get these buffs, and that's quite nice, the 50% attack, 50 crit, and the 50% max AP. But one other character will randomly get this. There's no way, I think, to determine who will get this because it doesn't give any AP to that character. So it will just be completely RNG who the other person is. But if it goes to a damage dealer again, whoever gets it follows up after Dwight's rush. You're talking about 50% defense down and 50% attack up on someone else. Not to mention the fact that Dwight himself gets a 50% attack boost for his rush. Okay, so here we are on turn 2 again. Same situation. This time I don't have another character who's going to give AP to Dwight. He's going to give it to himself. Now, he actually is going to gain 10%, but I don't know why he didn't take damage there. I guess it's 6.6 or 7 would be 10%. He is exhausted. He got away with it. He got away with it. He would have taken a little bit of damage. We're going to command him. And you can remember what damage he did to Akira last time round. It was, I think, 15,900. It was around 16,000. Now with their 50% attack boost, this is how much more he's going to do. Boom. 27,000. Absolutely crazy amount of attack increase. And that's just basically to guarantee, effectively, he's going to take someone down. So I like this a lot. Obviously, it does work with his rush. It is going to be a little bit slow in terms of you trying to build a fast team. You will have to command Dwight turn 2 to get everything popping turn 2. I think a lot of people would have preferred this to be turn 1, so that then the next turn he could just do a natural rush if you had like AP weapons or Doc Stevens or something. It's not going to be the case this time around, because he has to do his active turn 2 to get these buffs, and to get him to rush that turn as well, you'd have to command him. And that's not ideal, but it does mean a turn 3 nuke guaranteed. It is also worth noting that no matter what, if he gets his rush, that crit bonus will actually not affect Dwight himself, because the turn he does his active, he will obviously lose one of the turns of the crit buff, and the next turn he would do his rush, which is unaffected by crit, and he wouldn't get that effect at all. If he was commanded, he'd obviously do his active the turn and lose that turn's crit anyway. He'd be commanded and then he'd lose his next turn because he was commanded. The only way he'd get a crit bonus still is if the next turn he had to do a basic attack to gain AP. So the crit bonus there is a little bit weird for Dwight. It's not really going to come into much use, but the 50% attack will. If it was a multi-hit rush, it would have been a different story. Now, Dwight does have a leader skill, and it is seen as a support leader skill. This is seen as support when it is that yellow icon. Red means attack, and blue means defense, I believe. I think there's a green one maybe as well that is kind of rare, but that's the 3, and I think it's the same color here as Mercer's, because I think it's because the effect that it adds. All melee teammates get 50% attack and a huge bonus to AP when attacking. Now, when I read that, I'm like, that's an attack leader skill. But the last bit is all teammates get Guardian Shield. Now, this is very interesting because what it does, it does open up the potential for maybe a defense team leader that is very, very offensively aggressive, and you could have AP weapons on characters to just nuke. Obviously, there are characters that are going to deal with that. For instance, Payback. But on an attack team, you could do exactly the same thing. You could have an extremely fast-built team and see the Guardian Shields as something that's just going to protect you for a team that's basically made kind of glass cannon on attack. It is interesting. I'm not really sure how that could work. I don't really think it's going to work against any of the meta teams right now, because if you're trying to build speed against Marge, you're going to just obviously take a lot of exhaust damage because of it. The Guardian Shields do not block maim, and maybe they're meant to, but they don't. So I did test this out. It was Man on the Moon who told me, yep, Guardian Shields block maim. I was like, nah, I'm pretty sure. And I did just test it, and it definitely doesn't. So if they did, this would be awesome. Like, legitimately, it would be absolutely insane to get a first turn, you know, shield against Marges would be nuts. But at the moment, it's not blocking main damage, so maybe that will change. But for the first half of this leader skill, it's pretty obvious. Just an extra 50% attack and a huge bonus to AP when attacking. That part is going to go to all melee teammates, and the last part, of course, is going to all teammates. So potentially, let's say you could use an off-trait command like Akira on attack. He'd still get the Guardian Shield, but he just wouldn't get any of the other bonuses, which would not be that big a deal. So as the fight begins, as you can see, all of my team have Guardian Shields. This is because of that leader skill. I did take Akira just to show you it isn't just melee teammates who get the Guardian Shield, but it will be only melee teammates that get the 50% attack and a huge bonus to AP when attacking. I'm just going to attack, and we're going to just see basically what this has to offer. We're going to do a little bit of damage, and as you can see, it's going to effectively stop 2 characters from gaining AP because they took the Guardian Shield off of Brutus and Michonne. They did take a bit of damage, but 2 characters did not gain AP, and that was Pete and Tara. This does mean, of course, that they're going to have a later rush. It will take them 2 extra turns to get enough AP, then a 3rd turn. So now those 2 rushes have gone to turn 4. Now, when we go to the next turn, what we're going to do is we're going to just remove Guardian Shields. We're just going to get through this guy. We can now build up AP on these characters because they don't have much AP, so it's not much of a, it's not too scary, not too risky. There could potentially be Guardian Shields taken off of... There we go, Tara again. Turn 2. still does not have any AP, and this could happen to any character effectively on a defense team, where naturally all of these characters should be rushing right now on a defense team, but there was too much AP denial, so it's not going to happen. So the leader skill is actually kind of fancy in my opinion, and I think it's actually going to be good for two types of players. Your top end players who have really offensive teams to just protect them, and your brand new players who don't have the best teams, to get them some protection, but also to give them a couple, maybe the extra turn that they may need to get things rolling against defense teams. So I think this character is actually pretty good top to bottom. The rush is great, the active is great. We will go across to the weapon to see what that is, but obviously, as you can see in his hands, it is a default weapon. And this does mean you can use whatever you want in his hands. For those tests, I was using a 20% AP weapon to self. You could see I could get a first turn rush with an MJ pretty easily. And that is the potential for Dwight, I think. You might want to just completely ignore the fact that he can do his active and just go for AP to self to get that first turn rush with a couple of 8% weapons, and to get that second turn natural rush, and then command someone else with the defenses down. So a little something you could do with Dwight is use him with this week's character Argus and build a team to potentially take out Jesus teams. Obviously, because Nuke comes in from Dwight, single target, it's not going to affect it, so you can do that first. And then you can follow up with massive amounts of damage coming with Priya. This is a first turn team. There are going to be some specialists that are going to be an issue here, but it is a first turn team. We are going to get those first turn rushes. They have got 20% weapons. We've got two 8% weapons on other characters. And as you can see, we have nuked somebody. No camouflage issue. Everyone is now defense down. It is worth noting that they should also be disarmed, but for whatever reason it isn't working right now. But it will no doubt be fixed upon release. I have submitted this to Scopely to hopefully fix. And now you're running into the issue. If I rush with Priya, I'm going to have camouflage issues. However, Argus's active did get upgraded, and it is now a turn 1 active, and it removes camouflage from 3 characters first turn. It also does bleed them. I'm going to do it on one of the alert characters. That's because that's who it's most likely going to, make me attack. So I'm going to do this. We're going to hit both of the alerts. That's great. And now we're going to focus on the person who still has camouflage, because the person who has camouflage is the only person who can't be hit, whereas the other ones guaranteed can be on follow-ups. So the person who's got camouflage will take damage, the extra characters will as well, and I've just first turned a team. So obviously Dwight in the right combo could be absolutely crazy on quick attack teams, and I honestly like that quite a lot. I think he's a very powerful character. There's going to be no doubt other teams that you can put together with that leader skill. I haven't really thought of anything myself, so if you do have any ideas with that leader skill, do let me know. But that little first turn team that I put together there, shout out to Farang on the Discord. If you do have any team build questions or ideas, always come to my Discord and spread the love. Discussions are always going on, and this is sort of like the result. This is how it works. We share and share alike. But do tell me what you think about S Class Dwight as a promo character. Are you a Dwight fan? That's what I want to know. I am actually quite a big Dwight fan. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I'm just a little bit disappointed that he's not a tough character. Just a little bit disappointed, and that's only because he could have potentially had a crossbow. Hopefully there is going to be a character coming at some point with a bow or a crossbow. You just love bow or crossbow characters. But that is going to be the end of my video, guys. I want to thank you very much for tuning in, and as always, keep on surviving, guys. Keep on surviving.